So, hey guys, I've been thinking about what deck to build for ranked, and honestly, no clue right now, but I do have like enough crafting points to make anything I uh, realistically would want to make, but I think we have like, what's this, like 14 UR crafts still, which is like a lot, but not a lot at the same time. I mean, I can still do like a little bit of dismantling, but ideally, I want to play something that's not super good against Maxi, which is a little contradictory to my normal way of thinking, but you know, whatever. Normally, I'd like to build my deck with like some flexibility, so there's some form of play I can do in most situations, which is the kind of deck I enjoy playing the most. Well, that kind of combo deck, anyways. So let's see. We have a lot of URs we could possibly dismantle. Like, I don't need 2 copies of Draco Berserker. I guess, like, Omega is limited to 1. So we could do a little bit of dismantling there, and that would be fine. But, I don't know. We could run a lot of things. One of the decks I don't want to run, for example, would be Kashtira, though. Like, if we're thinking Kashtira Pier, like, first off, I do want to run this, like, lineup of generics. So we need Ash Blossom and Called By to deal with Maxi, other hand traps going second, all of that, and 3 of Imperm also for going second. They are okay when you have them in your hand going first as well, and no hard ones per turn, of course. And then we have Evenly Matched, which is basically going to be our back row removal and also our, like, spell trap, negate bait, and other things, right? Like, for example, well, or our board wipe. So, like, let's say, for example, we run 3 copies of Lightning Storm, right? And then we need to run, like, a copy of Duster or whatever for back row removal, something like this, whatever. Let's just assume this back row removal gets rid of our opponent's back row 100% of the time. But you can, of course, play around Lightning Storm and just have, like, no monsters in attack position for Lightning Storm. So then Lightning Storm doesn't do anything against our opponent's deck, for example. And then with Duster, Duster just does nothing into any monsters. It only destroys spells and traps, right? So let's say, for example, our opponent has something, I don't know, like literally Fenrir Pass in defense position. Neither of these cards do anything, right? Well, Evenly doesn't either. But now let's go take this a step further and say they have, like, Xyzs Baron. Well, Xyzs actually would always be in attack position, actually. Hold up. That's not quite right. Let's say we have... 3 element monsters don't matter if they're in attack or defense, really, though. That makes it giga awkward. Because you don't want to be resolving destruction effects like Raigeki on them anyways. Because it doesn't really do a whole lot on the 2 element monsters. It does work on the other monsters. Alright, I got it. Let's say our opponent's playing Branded. You know, it's always back to Branded, huh? Our opponent's playing Branded and they have, like, Mirror Jade in, like, defense position and stuff. And they have, like, Branded in red. Like, in the back row. Lightning Storm and Duster are not going to do a whole lot here. Or I guess let's say our opponent's playing Blackwing or something. Boom, this won't do anything. Adamant Spare, this won't really do anything either. Unless they have something in attack position, like maybe Aplosa or something, in case of, like, Adamantipator, whatever. So, whatever, but you know what will, like, cripple them? Evenly Matched. And Evenly Matched works against back row as well. So, just for, like, to deal with, like, your opponent's endboard, you might want to run, like, something like, I don't know, let's say double Raigeki, and then, oh, wrong. I searched Raigeki again. And then, I don't know, let's go crazy with it, like, triple Dark Hole, boom. But, 3 of Evenly fulfills the roles of all of those cards, essentially. That's, like, 12 cards. But you only have 3 of them, so not exactly. But going second, this is a godsend. This is one of the best cards you can play, and it covers a lot of ground. And it's a very efficient card. Like, oh, did I draw into Raigeki and then my opponent simply is not playing monsters? Well, no matter, I will just wipe out all the back row, or the reverse is true as well with evenly matched. So evenly matched, high efficiency, and of course we want to run into this. And Fenrir, we might run 2 Fenrir or not. It depends, I guess. Like, in Blackwing, I would never run Fenrir because Simoon is, like, your best starter, and you can't have Fenrir and Simoon. So, yeah. Not gonna happen. And, for example, I don't think I'd play, like, Kishtira with this, even though Kishtira is, like, small enough that even if I threw in literally every single Kishtira card, right? I do not have... I still have, like, a lot of empty space, right? Like, that's 3 of every single Kishtira card aside from Fenrir because it's limited to 2. But even then, I would only be at 29 cards. So this, not a huge deal. Doesn't really change a whole lot. But yeah, I don't think this engine is that efficient. So first off, if I want to do a 1-card combo, only Fenrir. So everything else is a 2-card combo. So Unicorn plus any Kishtira is a 2-card combo. And then Kishtira Birth plus any Kishtira is not actually a 2-card combo. It becomes a 3-card combo because you still need like another Kishtira. So like for example, if we have Ogre, Unicorn, and Birth, that doesn't really change anything, does it? But if we have like Fenrir, Ogre, and Birth, that does something, you know? And you can also play, I guess, like, 7-star sword, right? I think that's what it was called. Sacred Sword of 7 Stars, yep. You can play this, and this has synergy, because it banishes the cards, and then you can summon them back off of Birth if they are banished. You also draw 2 cards, so Sacred Sword of 7 Stars. Pretty useful overall. 1 of, 2 of, 3 of, you'd play it as any of those, I guess, but at the same time, like, I have so much just like open space to do whatever. And I mean, I don't think you would run for your prep anyways. But let's see what Kishtira actually offers you if you play Kishtira. Okay, so first we have Shangri-Ira, Zone Lock, okay? If you activate enough like Banish face down effects, your opponent will have no more zones they can play. Alright. Well, they can play cards in. Alright. So then Unicorn's effect is banish your opponent's extra deck monster face down, 1 of them. Okay. And then Kishtira Fenrir is banish a face-up card your opponent controls. And banish it face down, of course. Okay. And then Rise Heart banishes top 3 cards of your opponent's deck face down. And then Kishtira Ogre banishes, well, 1 of the top 5 of your opponent's deck. Or your opponent's top 5 cards. Okay. And then, all things considered, how many, like, big threats do you have in, well, Kishtira? So, Unicorn, you can actually play around. Like, if I run 3 of every single starter, like, in my extra deck, and endboard pieces or whatever, like, let's just say I'm absolutely psychopathic and I do it that way. Unicorn does absolutely nothing. Except make me sad because I run 3 copies of, like, I don't know, Xyzs and, like, 2 copies of Baron or something, right? Aside from that, we're fine. But, yeah. Then we have Fenrir. This banishes a card, but only a face-up card, so it can't banish sets. But, alright. That is fine. And then this, Ogre. Ogre does, like, literally nothing except trigger Shangri-Ira. Like, it'll give you some information, and then you can banish your opponent's, like, card. But that doesn't do anything. And then Birth and Preparation sometimes do something. Sometimes. That's about it. So, this entire package essentially gives you an effect that could be sometimes useful. So, Unicorn's Banish from extra deck effect can be useful. Like, if you're playing against Mikanko, what does this do? Do they need their extra deck? No. Not really. Just for example. Does Labyrinth need their extra deck? Nope. So, coin flip, whether, like, Ishtar Unicorn's effect is actually useful or not. And then Fenrir's is generally useful, but once again, control deck, set cards, you're not gonna really be doing anything except for suffering, you know? Like, I don't know. Activate Dogmatic Punishment, the Tis effect, and you don't even get to activate Fenrir. Because your opponent also requires, you also require your opponent to actually activate monster effects anyways. So if they don't activate monster effects, a bit awkward. It's a bit of a staring contest. You know, nothing really major is going to be happening here. Well, yeah. So, Kashtira, this whole package, like, not only is it not efficient enough, like, if we look at the archetype as a whole instead of just solo Fenrir, right now, there's no, like, super good payoff. Like, I would much rather run, for example, just a random copy of, well, I guess I can't run just one of these because that would be dumb. But if I had, like, 3 copies of Terror Top, 3 copies of Terror Top would just have a way bigger payoff. Like, assuming I could actually play 3. Well, right now, limited 1, so whatever. But assuming I could play 3 copies of Terror Top, I can do a full 1-card combo off of just Terror Top. What can I do with Fenrir? Not that much, but it does have that going second utilization, you know? You can go second with it just fine. And it can help. It trades for, like, some negates and stuff, and it's just a free body. So it's like a Pank that's more, like, flexible in the sense that there's, like, usage for it going first and second. But aside from that, it's, like, pretty whatever, I guess. Overall, I think Pank does still have a niche where it is still more useful than Fenrir, so whatever, I guess. Like, if you want to trade against back row, like, for example, you do know your opponent has, like, Sword Soul Blackout, you can easily trade it for, like, Xyzs. Against, like, if you're against, like, Evil Longwan and Xyzs, for example, you can special summon Pank, and then you can quick effect banish, well, not banish, quick effect tribute, like, Pank, to instantly, like, remove, like, Xyzs or Blackout, and that's pretty good. And of course, if they were to, like, try to banish your Pank, that's the line you obviously go, right? But a lot of the time, people will actually summon the Evil Longwan in defense position, you know, to play around Lightning Storm. And of course, if they do not banish, then you have the option to go into battle phase and then just attack into Evil Longwan, and then trade like tribute, and then pop either, like, I guess, Xyzs or Blackout, depending on which is more threatening to you, I guess. And all of this, your opponent cannot, like, respond to favorably. If they try to activate, like, the banish effect on King Longwan, right? You simply just trade something else, and banish spell or trap effect likely does not matter. So they have to essentially use the King Longwan effect and instantly against Pank. Against Fenrir, you can just banish Fenrir, and then you're still chilling with everything on your board still. So you still have to find a way to remove it. And keep in mind that Blackout actually is mandatory to destroy 2 of your opponent's cards, so 2 cards your opponent controls. So if you, like, just summon Pank, the only thing they can realistically do is, I guess, just use Evil Longwan's effect, you know? King Longwan, yep. King Longwan? I don't know. But either way, that's all that can be done, really. It's just here, in this specific endboard, this instance, this niche, right? Fenrir, much worse. Fenrir gets special summon, boom, gets banished. And that's all, right? It doesn't trade for anything aside from one of King Longwan's effects. And in case you are playing, like, Kashtira, of course, you also want Birth to resolve, but it's not going to resolve against King Longwan or Evil Longwan, whatever. So that's not gonna happen. And then you're just doing worse. Whereas Pank would have traded like essentially 2-for-1. Like in nearly every single way your opponent can play it, it trades 2-for-1. Fenrir just trades like one hand card for like the banish. Which like, I don't know, you could use like a danger for, but technically there's no point in them banishing a danger, so it's just like mileage may vary, I guess. So if we're thinking about just like engines we can run, I don't know. What do we have? What were you supposed to run with this anyways? Is it this? You tribute this card, So you can tribute this card, and then you special summon a Speedroid Tuner for the rest of this turn, except when monsters... Okay, you can't special summon, but... Like, you can't use the effect to special summon a Tuner, but you could just special summon Takatomberg as a 3 to make, like, Cherubini, for example, and that seems to be fine. So maybe we could use Takatomberg, and that would be okay. Like Terratop, Takatomberg, but I mean, Terratop's at 1, so I don't really want to run such an inefficient kind of package. If you control a wind monster. If I was playing a wind deck, this wouldn't be like as big of a deal, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Playing a wind deck does have its merits as well, being unaffected by bestials. But I'm not really interested in getting hit by like a Dark Ruler no more or anything like that. So preferably I want to run some kind of deck that can play around Dark Ruler no more and like Droplet minimum. And of course that means I'll have to have like Protection or a Spell Trap Negate or an Omni Negate back row. Like just for example like Orcus kind of fit the criteria because these are actually machines, right? So this is a bit awkward, you know? There is a play I would have liked to do with Orcus, but I mean, it's just utterly impossible. So, Orcus don't lock you. Well, actually, this is not a good example. This doesn't lock you. This locks you. Orcus locks you into specifically only dark monsters, so unlike Rocket, Rocket locks you into dark extra deck monsters, which is a bit different. But this matters because like I might want to play like Therion Regulus, like with like my Orcus. This is just like a dream at this point. Like, damn, sure would be nice if I could summon Therion King Regulus with all of these machines, you know? Well, that's unfortunate, isn't it? Well, we can do Orcus, I guess, so let's do a combination of some crazy stuff, I guess. So let's see. If we have Punk and Orcus, we can do a whole lot, actually. But it just depends on what kind of play. We can do some milling plays, we can do some draws, right? But actually, why would we want to do Orcus in the first place? It would just be for the Omni Negate, I guess. In that case, is there some other Omni Negate that's like accessible that we can go for? I think Orcus is actually pretty accessible, only needing you to activate Harp Horror, essentially, and then you can do, like, Girsu to dump a guy and whatnot. And once you special summon Girsu, you can at least grab the Omni Negate. You can just grab Crescendo from there, and that's not bad in of itself, right? So back row Omni Negate, of course, handles like Dark Ruler no more and stuff. Does Sphere Mode matter though? Can I ever play around Sphere Mode or Lava Golem or anything? Not really. So if we do an Orcus focus build, it's not like that bad. Where can I get some good tuners from though? Can I get good levels for this? Is there a Dragon Synchro that I can make? Like, if I make Chaos Ruler, can I make Abyss in this? I'm not sure if you can make Abyss with like Orchest or not, so I'm a bit conflicted there. If you can, that changes things a little bit. But speaking of which, you know, what's really annoying, like, if you have, like, for example, an imperm, you can't really do anything against, like, well, I'd say, like, you wouldn't be able to do anything major against, like, Labyrinth. Kind of annoying because you can't respond with your, like, monster effects. So even if you did have, like, a Baron de Floor, you couldn't respond. Just the intrusive thought I had there, really. Like, any form of spell trap negate, you just can't use it, even if you manage to summon it early. Nice deck design. Anyway, focus back a bit more, reeling it in. If we want to have some form of negate, like Baron and stuff is pretty good, but if I ever want to play into Maxi, I do want, like, spell trap negates at minimum, and then, like, ideally I would want, like, some way to summon something like Abyss, and then something I can activate, like, to chain into Dark Ruler No More, or, like, Forbidden Droplet, or just, like, a back row Omni negate, which can deal with both Droplet and Dark Ruler No More pretty effectively. And I don't really want to get board broken, so I either want, like, some form of negate for the board break, or I want, like, some form of protection. Like, I don't know, for example, let's say Algol Mazra. Like, this is fine, you know? Just having protection. And we would be chillin'. So this criteria is a little hard to meet sometimes, but it should be manageable. So Therion is, like, definitely within the candidates for, like, some engine I might be trying to run. Regulus is like an Omni negate I can run in the main deck, and if I am running machines, I can just summon this guy, and it's still just a big guy, you know? I can use him as a beater if need be, right? And that is not bad in of itself. But, you know, what would be cool is if, like, we had Sargus and, we had this. So we just grab, like, Generator Levitain and Jormungandr, which I just happen to have both. It's just a coincidence. I think I went into Generator Pack at some point. Didn't really pull super crazy. I mean, I can craft Har if I want, so that's great. And we have 3 lots there, so that's most of what you would want anyways, I guess. Well, actually, I remember now. I was pulling for Subterra. That's why I have these cards. Makes sense. Well, okay, so with the both of those, it's kind of crazy though. Like, let's just look for 9s in general, not just generators. So if we have a combination of Gigantic Champion Sargus and Levitin, this would be a pretty fun combo just to have on my endboard. So the effect of Levitin, you can only control 1 Levitin generator boss of shadows. Monsters your opponent controls lose 1000 attack defense. Quick effect, you attribute this XYZ summon card. Special summon a non-fairy generator XYZ monster from your extra deck, meaning they might intend to release more generator XYZ boss monsters in future, but anyways. Then you can attach cards from any fields and or graveyards to that special summon monster as material, up to the number of materials this card had, so that would probably be 2. But, if I make Levitain, right, I can quick effect, trigger Levitain, and then this will trigger Gigantic Champion Sargus, so this effect now. Once per turn, you can also XYZ summon Gigantic Champion Sargus by using 1 Sprugen XYZ monster you control, transfer its material to this card. Not important, but the one we're looking at here is the important one. Right, let's see. If material is detached from a monster on the field, so this will happen in the next chain. Except during the damage step, you can target a card on the field, either destroy it or return it to the hand. So I can return any card on the field, so my own included if I want, or destroy it. So if I really was crazy, this can trigger sight. Just saying, but probably wouldn't use it for that. I would probably use this to like search a Therion card first, and then I would go into my play, whatever it may be, right? And ideally, I would have some way to go into a rank 9, right? So then, boom, Leviathan, and then Sargus, so I could also technically use Jormungandr effect to, I guess, trigger Gigantic Champion Sargus here. So just these three, this lineup is like very strong, right? And of course, I can just attach cards on the field to this, right? Well, not this, to Jormungandr, I guess, technically, right? And this will be like 2 materials, so that's just attach any 2 cards from the field and or graveyards, which is just a crazy effect in general. So I would really like this if like possible, right? So just for example, let's say my opponent is playing, I don't know, Runic, and they activate some cards. I could just go, I will now summon Jormungandr in chain to this, and I will take your Runic Fountain and your like Hugin or something, right? Or actually maybe I will leave them Hugin. Well, it doesn't really matter what happens exactly. I guess I could take like their graveyard Runic card, and then I can use like Sargus to destroy or return Hugin, whatever. That's fine. And then we have Jormungandr as well. Jormungandr effect. It'll allow me to at least cycle. My opponent will cycle a little bit too, but this effect is still decent. You can detach 1 material from this card. Each player draws 1 card, then each player that drew attaches 1 card from the hand or field to this card. And then Jormungandr just gets bigger. This is a little bit better if it can trigger something. Like, for example, I don't know. What can this trigger, actually? I'm not completely sure. This does trigger, like, the generator field spell, though, which makes it useful for generator, so this effect in particular, not as useful for, like, I guess, other archetypes trying to make usage of this. Maybe not as useful, but whatever. But there is actually a bit of synergy that we can do. Alright, I see the line now. Okay, so after some thinking, I realized what needs to be done, right? So let's get rid of this filter. So we're going to grab punk cards, and we're going to not care about our normal summon, I'm pretty sure, right? We can just use punk for this, I think. So we're just going to load up on all the punk cards. We can adjust ratios later, and this is the deck I'm thinking of probably bringing out. And if we could get an Omni Negate, that would be nice, but just having stuff in our back row is not entirely bad, right? So let's just do a big old package of punk cards, and this is pretty sizey. We can adjust everything later, like ratios and stuff. And then we'll grab Emergency Teleport. We will grab our Therion cards. And I have figured out what we are doing here. So we're going to grab, of course, a copy of this, 2 copies of this. Really enjoy our copies of Disc Coliseum here. And then we have Therion Lily Borea. Lily Borea, I think I want to run as maybe 2 of, whatever, yugioh. And then Bull-Ein, we'll just have one of them as like 1-ofs. And this is like a good level to make Baron if it does come up. And if we still have like something we want to search, we can always search like Therion Cross or like a Disc Coliseum. Or maybe even a Charge. We'll just keep throwing in stuff. We can always optimize later, so not that big of a deal. And we are playing like Gigantic Champion Sargus anyway, so fine by me. And now that I think about it, Therions actually do have protection effects. While you control an equipped card, Therion monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So, that is indeed protection. So maybe we could try to rely on Therions, but I don't want to get like Lava Golem for my life savings. That is not in my that is not very high up in my to-do list here. So then let's see. Next up, we have all of these guys, right? Okay. So making sure I have this right. So next we'll go to generator. And what we'll actually do is we want to play one of Mardell, actually, I believe. And for our normal summon, we might want to try Lonefire Blossom. The combo, well, if we draw Etelli, it might change. But I don't know. We might need our normal summon for our punk stuff, so I'm still conflicted on this a little bit. But, like, this is only, like, half of the equation, I guess, one might say, right? So, we're still lacking a little bit, and we can fix this with Cloud Castle, one of Cloud Castle, and then we have another, like, one of we want. So we want one of the guys. I don't remember which one it is, but I think it was Psychic Wielder or something. Is this the correct one? No, it isn't. Alright. The one we want is actually the non-tuner, I believe. Whatever it's called. Psychic Wielder. Okay, Psychic Tracker. If we control a level 3 monster other than Psychic Tracker, we can special summon this. And I don't know if this is going to be very, like, doable or not. But, no. This probably won't work, actually, right? If we had, like, a level 6 monster we could special summon, that would be great, but... Let's see. Sadly, for example, Xyzs Starfrost is actually a tuner. If it was a non-tuner, this would be usable, but whatever. If I think about it logically, we will have like 2 of these guys. So that's not good enough to make Cloud Castle. But ideally what I want to do, of course, is I want to go through my Punk combo, and actually for Punk combo, now that I'm thinking about it, we need to run Diablantis the Menacing Mantis. Oh. Diablantis the Menacing Mantis? Well, spelling is hard. Menacing. Okay. Menacing. So, let's see. If this card is synchro summoned, you can send insect and or plant monsters from your deck to the graveyard up to the number of non-tuners you use for its synchro summon. I don't think we're ever going to need to use more than 1, so that's fine. And we can just do Jam, Dragon Drive, maybe. So I just have to figure out the line, but essentially what I want to do is I want to dump Mardell, summon Cloud Castle, and I also want to then use Diablantis alongside, like, I guess maybe Foxy Tune to make Sargus. And then this would get me Therian Coliseum, and then ideally, I guess, we can use it to grab, like, Therian King Regulus, and then we have Lily Borea as well in the hand, and then, oh wait, they're in hand. I didn't consider this yet. Awkward. So, yeah. Didn't think about that, now did I? Or, is this okay? Yeah, Mardell is going to be attached, like, I'm going to summon back Mardell to make Leviathan, right? So, huh. Well, isn't that awkward? Well, still need to work out all of the logistics, I suppose. If we did Lonefire, like, there is, like, a decent Lonefire line with, like, Therion. If we, like, Lonefire Blossom, we can summon Mardell, actually, and then add Therion Lily Borea, which is what we wanted to do, right? Yeah. And then we can, like, Lily Borea effect to add, like, Therian Coliseum, add Regulus, link off Mardell, Lily Borea for, like, IP or Verte or something, and then we can, like, special summon Therian King Regulus. And that line is perfectly fine. Like, it's a pretty good line, all things considered. But I am fixated on this one line, and I just want to find a way to make this combo work. I want my gigantic champion Sargus and my Leviathan and my Therion stuff to work. If I think about it, that like cycling through some of the stuff is probably not that bad. I just need like, in this case, to make this combo work, any Therion in the graveyard. So this hand, could this do it? I mean, I'm not sure actually. Let me think. We don't need to normal summon anything from Therion stuff, right? So we can just do our normal summon here, right? We can do E-Telly for Wagon. Wagon adds the field spell, and then we can like normal Xiamen effect, draw one, and oh that's bad draw. Let's pretend we don't play Lone Fire then. Okay. Okay, so after some thinking, yeah. Definitely going to cut Lone Fire Blossom. For now. Yeah, Punk just needs the normal summon too badly. And we have 2 of E-Telly, so what are you gonna do about it? So here we have Therion Dyscalcium, Drakusai, Xiamen. We can probably summon Sharukusai off of what? Oh, we have to Deer Note for this, don't we, actually? It's a bit awkward, but I think we get our draw too. Does this change anything? We wouldn't have needed to use our special summon from the field spell yet. So I guess we can trade this for Madam Spider, and then we can like get a Diablantis the Menacing Mantis, and then Diablantis, send Mardell, and then wait a second, this is level 9. If I just have a level 1 monster, would that be enough? I mean, maybe. But I don't know. I would get a level 1 like tuner. But then I don't have like the 8s I would need for like Sargus. So I mean overall the combo pretty hard to pull off, but I do like the direction where this deck is going, so I'll probably work on it later, I guess. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and if you have any suggestions or decks I should maybe try taking into ranked, any deck suggestions would be appreciated, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.